Okay, are you guys ready? We are good to get started. Kevin? Perfect. I am Nicole Gibbs. I'm the Director of Strategic Communications here at Sedgwick County. And on Wednesday, the Board of County Commissioners updated a policy for the Department of Corrections, and there's been some misunderstandings and some misinformation that's got out about it. So we wanted to give the community and the media an opportunity to ask questions and to better understand where we are with that. I have Steve Stonehouse here. He's the Director of Corrections, and he is here to talk to you about that policy. And again, it is policy 8.810, and it is the use of force policy. Steve?
Good afternoon. I'm Steve Stonehouse. I'm the Director of the Department of Corrections, and I'm breaking your stuff. In a statement provided to media on November 13th, 2024, the Sedgwick County Department of Corrections use of force policy updates were submitted to the BOCC. There were minor personnel position references updated, and there was also a change from our use of force consultant, Safe Clinch, who removed one control technique from the curriculum, and which the Department of Corrections appropriately adopted and updated in the use of force policy. Policy updates for the Juvenile Intake and Assessment Center were presented and approved by the Juvenile Corrections Advisory Board, also known as Team Justice, and the Board of County Commissioners as required by the Kansas Department of Corrections Juvenile Intake and Assessment System, regulations and licensure of JIAC. This policy update is already in place at the Juvenile Detention Facility as of May 25th, 2023. As shared previously, the purpose of this updated policy is standard revisions to policies and procedures and is not associated with any recent or prior activity or incident that has taken place at the Sedgwick County Department of Corrections facilities. With that, I will answer any questions if you have them.
I have some questions. So just to clarify, this is happening to you after the case has been talked to. Does it have any connection at all with this? Is it inspired by the dashboard that you have available on it?
No.
Just moving on, it says that the physical restraint would be the last resort used for these juveniles. What are some of the techniques, the de-escalation techniques that we're talking about here?
So that's not a change in the policy. That has been the policy. So that's not a change. The change were two things, was the removal of one technique and the change in some personnel positions. That statement you just read had nothing, was not a change.
Why get rid of it? I think you kind of answered, maybe that's just outdated, but why get rid of it if it's not been a problem, not used in the case?
The Safe Clinch, our provider, no longer trains in that one hold. So during certification, that was not something that our trainers were certified on.
And sorry, I was just kind of throwing in a few minutes ago, but when I was looking at it, so like this is talking about having someone in your, like this is in a restrained position, two-handed palm up, grip down. What does that even mean?
If somebody who's being restrained is holding their arms together, it's the way to get them out. And the technique to move the hands out from underneath them to the side. That's the technique that they're no longer training on.
Okay. And when it says two-handed palm up, what is that? Is that the person doing that?
Yes, it's the staff member doing that. And that we were informed when we train in restraint, and we send master trainers to be certified to train our staff. And when they were going through the recertification process, this one hold was no longer being trained on.
Is Safe Clinch like the national standard of doing these things?
The company.
Okay. But like, why do they say we're not going to do this anymore, and then you stop doing that? You know, like you just get your certification from them or under their.
We get it from them. We are licensed by Kansas Department for Children and Family and overseen by the Kansas Department of Corrections, and we're allowed to choose which restraint system we use. They just have to approve of it. So with JIAC, their oversight from Kansas Department of Corrections requires, if a use of force policy is in place, it goes through the Juvenile Corrections Oversight or Juvenile Corrections Advisory Board and then the County Commission. And then it goes to them for final approval. So we're in that second step.
how common is it that these things, like, when's the last time one of these got changed? How common is that?
It's very common.
So along with the changes, I see, is it program manager that was?
Yes.
Can you kind of go into detail on why that was taken out?
Because we got rid of a position and consolidated it with a new administrator position. So the change reflects the new person in charge.
Is that just a budgetary thing, or what's the?
It was a functional need that the program at JIAC is pretty small, so it was assumed by a different administrator.
When you said misunderstanding, misinformation, please, about what was said about the change to this that you're trying to clarify? Yeah, Nicole said earlier that there was misinformation and misunderstanding.
The misinformation, misunderstanding is the connection that's been made to the Sedgwick Lofton case. This is a standard policy, and Steve can continue on this piece of it in regards to his department. But this is a standard procedural act that they do. They're continually monitoring updates to how they're treating their clients and how they're interacting with them, and it is part of the process to be able to make updates as they come through. This has nothing to do, as he said, with any apologies. It has nothing to do with any previous activities or that have taken place in any of our facilities. That's what I meant by the misinformation.
So for camera purposes, would you mind kind of giving us a visual on the restraint that's no longer used by Sedgwick County anymore?
Since it's not in a restraint that we use, no, that's not something we can show you as much. That's all you guys have. Thank you. Appreciate you guys coming out. Did you have any questions? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. I was
Okay.
just trying to play catch up.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Just making sure.